Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kaylina and I'm the Hex Witch, and today we are talking about my trip to the Victory of Light tour. It was held in Cincinnati, Ohio a couple days ago, and it was a joy. It was truly a really cool experience. Someone who is kind of coming out more in her spirituality, just getting to listen to all these other very spiritual people talk was really entertaining and really, really cool. So I'm just going to talk about that. Also got some cool things while I was there, so we're going to do a little haul as well. So here we go. So the Victory of Light Tour is this big event that Cincinnati, Ohio does at Sharonville Convention Center. They do it twice a year. This was their fall/winter one, and then they have a spring/summer one, but I think it happens in like the springtime. So it's about 3 days, or I was there for about 3 days. Left on Friday, came back yesterday. My first day, I went on a ghost tour, which was super fun. I love ghost stuff, so I had to go on a ghost tour. That was very educational. Cincinnati has a pretty dark history. Like, it has some pretty creepy stories. In fact, there's a lot of dead bodies kind of all over the historic part of Cincinnati. And as they were excavating and building things, they actually found close to 6,000 to 10,000 skeletons. Can you imagine that? 6,000 to 10,000 skeletons. I would not want to be the worker that had to go and dig all those up. So there's a lot of paranormal activity around that area. Had a really great tour guide. He took us around to different areas. It was only me and 2 other people, so it was a small knit group, which was also kind of nice. He told us the history of Cincinnati and these different places, as well as the different creepy ghost stories, including a haunted antique shop, which I wish I had gotten to actually go inside of. If I had had more time, I would have made the effort to, but I guess a lot of the items that this guy collects from different auctions and different places, apparently a lot of them are haunted. And so not that I was gonna buy anything from there, but just to kind of go in, the outside alone was super creepy. So it definitely fit the vibes of paranormal. So that was really enjoyable. And then the convention was on Saturday and Sunday. This convention was huge, guys, like huge. 200 plus vendors. They had speakers in 7 different stages at every hour, ranging from a bunch of different topics. The ones I went to was, I saw a couple mediums, which they're legit, guys. Not all of them, but these were legit. They were telling people things that they absolutely should not have known. Random strangers, me included, about my health, about relationships, just things that they would not have known, like without talking to us prior. Like they just literally spit out these things about these people, and practically had some people in tears at some points. So they were very cool to listen to, and the fact that they kind of indicated that everybody has intuition and psychic abilities to a certain extent. It's just we've all suppressed it for so long because nobody wants to be told that they're crazy or weird. And so a lot of us have these abilities inside of us that we don't even know about. So I also want to start digging deeper into that and seeing kind of where it takes me. From what the medium and psychic said, I don't think I'm like a medium by any means, but I think they told me that they could tell I was very open to spirits and that I would be very good at being a paranormal investigator. So definitely going to maybe look into more of that, but make sure I'm also staying safe with that because there can be dangers that come along with that. I also went to a lady who talked about the astrology for 2023, which is very fascinating. Astrology is so interesting, but it is so in depth. Like, there is just so much to it, and sometimes it's hard for my non-scientific, non-mathematical brain to understand. But she was really interesting. She was telling us all sorts of things about predictions that she had made in the past that have since come true, as well as the different sun signs and what we are to expect with the coming of the new year. Um, she was very, very on top of it, definitely knew her stuff, and just amazingly smart, just very intelligent. I also saw two brothers that did hypnotism, and I thought that was an interesting subject because hypnotism was not exactly what I thought it was, and that's probably largely due to movies. They dramatize it, stage hypnosis dramatizes it, but these guys, it's almost kind of like just going through a guided meditation and allowing yourself to go deeper into different levels of your consciousness. And yeah, they just guide you through this whole thing. And the one that they had us do, revolved around success and what we want to bring into our lives, and realizing that we have all the power in the world to be able to do that. And that sometimes just rethinking how we think things and taking more of a positive approach versus a negative approach, and realizing I am likable. I do bring people to me. I do bring prosperity to me. Can really change your life. And it's all a state of mind, which was kind of cool because it was definitely not quite what I was expecting. I went hoping I'd be cured of my spider phobia, and that was it was not what I was expecting, but in a good way. Then I went to a psychic. She was crazy good. Like, she could literally, at the end, we all got to ask one question that we wanted her to answer, and she was just answers like that, just instantly knew somehow through psychic ability that these different answers for people. And in fact, she actually told me, because I asked her about my health stuff, and I've been diagnosed with fibromyalgia, and I've been trying to get kind of control of that. And I asked her, what my health was looking like, what physically was going on, and would I be better within this next year? And she said yes, that I would be better, which praise the Lord, because it's been a long haul. But she also told me that I have a parasite, which kind of creeps me out because parasites are like little worm type things. So I'm definitely going to be looking into that. But I know she was legit because she was telling people things about their health and relationships that were sending people into tears. So, because it was so accurate. So I'm definitely going to be looking into that. I also did a private session with her as well, and she told me some cool things about myself and kind of some things about my future that might occur. So she was very cool, and she told us that psychic abilities are built within us. It's not magic, although it definitely seems like it is. But she said it's not, that it's very scientific in nature, and it's all how our brainwaves and our energy comes across to people, and how we can tune into that at different vibrations, and that we have more knowing than we even realize, and that everybody can do it. And so I thought that was pretty cool, because you will meet some psychics and some mediums who say that you can't do it. I've been told that by an empath before, that I was not empathic because I didn't feel physical pain from people. But empathedness, there's a wide range of it, I feel. For me, I feel things from people. Like, I can almost take on their emotions, but not their physical pain. So it's just, some people are very close-minded, and I think some people like to think that they have this special gift or power that no one else has. And we're all very intuitive in nature. It's just we live in such a rationalized world that it's hard to reactivate those places in our mind. I mean, when we're kids, we have imaginary friends and we are very creative and we're very open to the universe and learning things. And then as we grow up, we're kind of desensitized to that. And if we're not open to it, we're not going to see it. So I thought she was very interesting in that aspect, that she made it so real and not, it wasn't like a parlor trick. It was very honest and real, which I appreciated. The next one I went to was a type of exorcism, which it was not one that I was expecting. Because when you think of exorcism, you think very much of demonic entities. I was expected to be very kind of freaked out in this one, and that was not the case. This is a special kind of exorcism that's done in Brazil. It's called disobsession, and I guess it's a bunch of mediums come together, and if they suspect somebody is being haunted by a spirit, they come together and they have this session where they actually channel that spirit through them, and it's almost like a healing session. And it relates to how sometimes our physical and our emotional stress is actually being caused from a spirit that is mad at us for some reason. And it can even go as far as past lives. Like you did something to the spirit way, way back in many lives ago, and they're mad because supposedly you didn't get punished for it. And so they're here now to make you suffer. And so they can bring about physical pain, emotional pain. It's very fascinating, very interesting, because I never would have thought of that we could actually be carrying enemies from past lives. And so it's this very specific exorcism that is done there, and it's only done there. Like you can't do it anywhere else. But this man has been studying this for a long time, and he sees spirits, and he got to go and participate and kind of learn this way of disobsession. And so he was kind of teaching us about it, and it was really interesting. And I wish the Midwest, and not just the Midwest, but the North America as a whole would be more open to other styles of healing. We're still very much, I'm seeing more of a shift where people are starting to do more alternative medicines, but it's still very much ruled by pharmaceutical companies and just normal mid or Western medicine, which I think does not help everybody. I'm sorry, a pill cannot solve all your problems. There's a lot more deep-rooted issues that I feel like are going on with people that need to be dealt with and taken care of and looked at in a different light. I mean, we are just balls of energy, if you think about it. There's no reason our bodies should be able to do what they do, and yet they do. And it's because we're made of energy, and that energy cannot always just be cured by a pill. We've got deep emotions and chakras and meridians and all these things that come into play that do not get they're not taken care of when we go to just a normal Western medicine. So, sorry, that was totally off topic and a long spiel, but the next person I went to was a Dreamscaping, which was more hypnosis. I thought it was going to be more about like dreams and lucid dreams, which she mentioned a little bit, but it was almost more kind of in the hypnosis stages. But it was kind of about revealing something that we needed to know at that time. And so she guided us through like a castle setting, and then we had to find this chest and open it up and see what was inside of it. And depending on what was inside of it, depended on kind of the explanation that she gave to explain it. And so like, for example, mine was, I saw like newspaper articles like in the chest, and saw alligators, which later on when I talk about the spirit animals, I'll talk about how alligators have been showing up a lot in my life lately. And reading what the meaning behind alligator is kind of makes sense. But she told me that there may be things in my life that I'm not facing head on. And so I need to maybe take a look at that and see things that I'm trying to hide away, or that things that I don't want to face. And so I found that really interesting. It was different. It's so cool how like you can be in a full room full of people and all of a sudden you can just go into this trance, and you're away from everybody and you're in your own mind, and your higher self tells you things, and it's so cool. Like, I wish more people knew about this, because we could be so much more in tune with ourself and the way we interact with the world around us, and as well as people too. That was all I saw the first day. Sunday, I went to another medium, and she actually did make me cry because she was so spot on, and she told me that I needed to surrender in my life, which is probably very true, because I am a person that loves to be in control. I don't like not knowing what's going on. I don't like having no control. And when I feel out of control, I get stressed out. And she told me that I just needed to know that whatever is meant to happen in my future, that it's all going to work out and that it's going to be okay. And that I just need to let go of some of that. And it was just, these moments were so profound. Like, I mean, this lady who knows nothing about me literally told me this, and she also told me some other things that are a little bit more private that I'm not going to talk about in front of everybody, but it was just spot on. It was spot on. And sometimes we just need to hear these things and realize there's something bigger out there. There's something bigger out there, and we need to trust it. And so I'm going to be working on that moving ahead. One of my favorite ones was the spirit animals, just because I am a huge animal person. Like, love animals, and I definitely feel like the universe speaks to me through animals. For instance, usually when you see an animal like 3 times, just randomly, that usually means that there's a sign or something that they're trying to tell you. So for example, right before I went on this trip, I saw praying mantises. Like, I saw a dead one in my driveway, which is bizarre because I don't think they're like, you see them around, but I feel like they're usually in trees and stuff. This one was literally just dead set in the driveway. And then I was just scrolling through YouTube videos, and there was just a random one about praying mantis. Hadn't looked it up, didn't even think about it. And just randomly on my feed was a video about praying mantis. And I'm like, that's bizarre. I don't like bugs. So I wouldn't have been looking that up. Why is that on my feed? And then the third one I saw was when I was actually there. I went to this like arboretum, like conservatory, and there was literally this giant statue of a praying mantis. And I'm like, what are the odds out of all the bugs, a praying mantis? So I looked it up, and it talked about kind of family and being kind of protected, and knowing that like your kind of guardians and stuff were looking out for you. And that's exactly kind of what I needed to hear, because right before I left, this was the first time I had ever flew like by myself, like anywhere. Usually I always have someone going with me, and this time I did not. And so I, of course, was naturally a little bit nervous, but I did my Mojo Bag, which worked splendidly. Like, I usually get lost everywhere I go, and I didn't get lost like at all while I was on this trip. The navigation worked perfectly. I knew where I was going. I never once felt like scared that I was lost, or like that chaotic energy when you have anxiety because you can't drive. That's what I usually get, and I didn't have it. And it was because I had prayed and done this Mojo Bag and asked my spirits and ancestors and animal spirit guides and God, and angels to kind of all watch over me, and they did. I could feel it. I really could. I had this whole sense of calm, and I put together a bunch of different herbs and sigils and things, and it worked. It really did work. So I was very thankful for that. But back to the spirit animals, we did a meditation where we closed our eyes and we were in this field, and we had our animal like step forward. And I've known my animal for a while because I just have. She's come to me. She's actually told me her name. I have a fox. Her name is Heidi. She has this very low key but strong protective energy. Almost like she's shy, but like the silent protector type. Like she doesn't make herself super like in my face known, but I just always know that she's kind of around and like in the background, like never in my face, but just in the background, low key, kind of shy protector sort, but very powerful. And so during this meditation, like she came forward like right away, and she like wrapped her tail, like she has this big old tail, and she just like wrapped it all around me, and I heard the words comfort and perseverance, and so just this very comforting energy from her. I've always loved foxes. I just think they're the coolest. They're awesome animals, and yeah, perseverance. So just pushing forward, and I think that was just kind of a common theme with this convention, was that you just keep moving forward. You know, even when life throws you lemons, you move forward and you make lemonade. And so that was really cool. I also, like, I went back to, I've been seeing alligators a lot. And alligators symbolize fearlessness. They have a great sense of timing, agility, fierceness, and protectiveness, determination. And they draw powers from the sun. And they help when you have deep emotions and you appear indestructible, which is totally not true because I'm not indestructible. But they come about when you need to use your inner strength. And they also help when you're trying to make decisions that you aren't sure about, as well as they boost your inner physical or emotional strength. And so I feel like that was kind of, I've been seeing them a lot. I saw them a lot before leaving, and then I saw them in both my meditations, the spirit one, as well as the castle. They were in a moat swimming around. So that was kind of indicating that I was being protected as well, and that I was going to have confidence through this whole trip, being physically and emotionally confident. So that was much needed. And then the last person I went to was a paranormal investigation one, which was cool. That one, it was almost like there were spirits there, which I'm not surprised, because they said it's very common for most people to have some kind of attachment. Like, it's not uncommon at all that a lot of the times they just see people with kind of a mask behind them, and that there are spirits with us quite often. And super busy, energetic places have spirits because it just draws them in, because a lot of the time spirits need our energy to be able to continue to function. So populated, high spiritual people in one area probably was bringing them in. And I think that was true, because all their devices were going off like crazy, just randomly, and they said it never does that. They said, honest to God, this never happens, but all of them were just flickering and buzzing and going off. So I'm guessing there is probably spiritual activity happening, that a lot of spirits were just coming in and wandering around and seeing what was going on. Their presentation was interesting. I wish we had gotten a little bit more time with them, because they had so many technical issues at the beginning that we really didn't get to ask tons of questions. But taken on this very interest in the paranormal as of late. Just read a really awesome book too, which I'm going to review at some point. The Witch's Guide to the Paranormal, which is a fantastic book. Highly recommend it. But I've been trying to get more involved with the spiritual realm, you know, like it's so unknown and so mysterious, and it's just very interesting. And it used to scare me to death, but I don't know. I feel very differently about it now. And it's not like I'm going to go be looking for scary things, but I've also love watching the channel Sam and Colby. They are Kansas City natives, which is awesome, and they are two guys that just seem like really lovely people. They have great personality. They are fun to watch. They do all these paranormal investigations. So I highly recommend, if you're ghost lovers, ghost lovers, to go check them out. They seem very legit, and they don't force things, and they're not so over dramatized like a lot of those shows are. They have their own YouTube channel, so highly recommend going to check them out. Let's see. So I did get some fun things while I was there, so I'm gonna show those really quick. I got this cute little Mexican cat. These are so cool. They are hand painted. Can you imagine the time that goes into these? I've always loved cats. I definitely feel like they're one of my spirit totem animals as well. But I mean, look how cute that is. And I told myself I didn't need another like figurine knickknack, but I passed on it on Saturday, and then Sunday I was still thinking about it. So I was like, I have to go back and get it. And I'm glad I did, because he is really, really cute. Really cute. They had an alligator one too, but I was like, I've got to limit my spending. So I got him. I also got this cool tiger's eye alligator, because alligators have just been in my life lately. I feel like they have a very strong energy, and this one was just really cool. They had so many cool crystals, but I'm not gonna lie, some of them were massively expensive, and so I was like, I love crystals, but I also have tons of them here, and I was only going to get one if I really felt drawn to it. And because I've been seeing so many alligators, I was like, and tiger's eye. I've been looking for a good tiger's eye because I love tiger's eye energy. Like, I also had tiger's eye in my Mojo bag that I took with me, and it represents courage and strength and confidentness, which was much needed for traveling by myself. So, and I felt it. I really do believe that if you kind of have that reminder with you and it radiating its energy out to you, that you're gonna feel a difference. And I did. And so it just, the courage, the strength, the confidence, it's attached to your root and sacral chakras. They can keep you centered and calm. They protect you. Tiger's eye does, and it alleviates anxiety. So I definitely wanted to find a tiger's eye, and it was so perfect that it was an alligator. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll spend the money on that too. Let's see. Well, next thing I got was a singing bowl. I have gotten the crappy singing bowls on Amazon because I was like, I want a singing bowl, but I didn't want to pay all the money for a singing bowl. But turns out it's just worth paying the money for the darn singing bowl, because the sound that these pure ones make are lovely. Like, the lady was showing me all these different ones, and she told me how you pick out a singing bowl is you let it kind of choose you. Like, you listen to the sound, and if you're attached to the sound, you get that one, not by the design on it. So, and she had me she was playing a bunch of them in my hand. Let's see if I can actually accomplish this. I don't know if you can hear that. I'm sure you probably could, but there's a certain way you're supposed to hold it and then like slowly go around it. I'm probably still going too fast, but I'll figure it out. But really cool. She said these were like legitimate ones that they use in like Buddhist monks, the ones that they use. So, and I could definitely tell, especially when she played it. I mean, the vibrations were crazy. They were crazy, and it was beautiful, and you could just feel it throughout you. The next thing I got was some local artwork because I love going places and getting local art. The wall behind me back here has all these different art pictures that I've gotten different places from different events, different places I've been to, just because I love getting local art and supporting local artists because there's some real talent out there, and I just love having pretty art. So the first one I got is this. This just spoke to me. Like, is this not like the most epic witch art you've ever seen? I mean, that just has gothic, witchy, like dark vibes, but yet this very feminine nature. And the fact that she's holding an apple just makes me kind of think of Snow White, but I don't know, like this, I don't know, like a retelling of Snow White's evil queen, but I don't know. It's just, it's cool. And I really love this piece of art. So I was like, I had to get it. I was like, I had to get it. I was just staring at it and there was no option but to get it. The next one I got was from another local artist. This one might be kind of harder to see, but yeah, you're not going to be able to see it super well. But it's this very whimsical painting of this, there's like fog around it, but then there's the moon and you can tell there's the ocean, and this dark-haired girl is walking towards the ocean with, I think it's like a sketch pad or a journal or something, and it's in this beautiful purpley blue tones, and it was just so pretty, and for some reason it just really spoke to me because I am in love with the ocean. If I could live by the ocean I would, but Kansas City it is. But it just was very pretty and I don't know, like Monet-ish in a way, but not. So I really liked that one. And then the last one I got is this. They are koi fish, and you probably can't see on there, but it's sparkly. Like, who doesn't need a good sparkle piece of artwork? This lady, she does all of these, and I think you can buy them as like kits where you spend hours and hours and hours just meticulously putting these little dots on this artwork. But I was like, I don't have the patience for that, so I will just buy one because I'm sure this thing took a ton of time, and she had just tons of really cool ones. I was kind of in between two different ones, one of kind of this like fairy with hummingbirds, and then this one, but for some reason I just really liked the koi fish, so I got that. The last two things I got were two different books because honestly, in case you can see, I'm a huge book obsession nerd. Like, I love to read. It's like my favorite pastime. So the first one I got, which I didn't even make it to Cincinnati before I got this one because Chicago literally has like a little mini bookstore in their airport, which is pretty freaking cool. So I got this book. It's called The Luminaries, and it goes as follows. Description. Winnie Wednesday wants nothing more than to join the Luminaries, the ancient order that protects Winnie's town and the rest of humanity from the monsters and nightmares that rise in the forests of Hemlock Falls every night. Ever since her father was exposed as a witch and a traitor, Winnie and her family have been shunned. But on her 16th birthday, she can take the deadly luminary hunter trials and prove herself true and loyal, and restore her family's good name, or die trying. But in order to survive, Winnie enlists the help of the one person who can train her, Jay Friday, resident bad boy, and Winnie's ex-best friend. While Jay might be the most promising new hunter in Hemlock Falls, he also seems to know more about the nightmares of the forest than he should. Together, he and Winnie will discover a danger lurking in the forest no one in Hemlock Falls is prepared for. Not all monsters can be slain, and not all nightmares are confined to the dark. So, sounds pretty interesting. I'm always down for like a fantasy, creepy woods, sorta witchy monsters type story. So, I think it'll be interesting. I'll have to let you know how it goes. The last thing I got was develop your medical intuition. So, as a massage therapist, I was very interested in this book, as well as what the psychic told me, because I asked her when I stopped being a massage therapist, because with the fibromyalgia, I may have more of a shelf life for it. I love it, love my work, but it's also very hard on your body. So I asked her kind of what she thought I would be good at, or if she could see what I would be good at once I left that career. And she told me that I'd probably be a great psychiatrist. It's not the first time I've been told that. But she also told me that I might be a really good like touch psychic. So I could incorporate massage, like keep my massage license, but then get into psychic touch and be able to see what's going on with people through that, which I am empathic, as I said before. So I do feel people's emotions very deeply. And I feel like I could work on growing my intuition into knowing what physically is wrong with the body too. In this book, I've started it. I'm only like 15 pages in, but it's a very fascinating subject. How this guy can literally scan the body and he can tell exactly what's going on with people on the emotional level, the physical level, and the psychological level, which is crazy amazing. Like, I mean, you hear of dogs being able to sometimes do that, where they can actually like smell cancer in somebody before they even realize they have it. But to be able to do it on a human level is so interesting. And I would absolutely love to be able to learn how to do this. And if God willing, that's my path. But I love being in the healing field, and to be able to actually like teach people how there is more than just Western medicine out there that can help you, and expand people's knowledge about it, and to be able to heal them in a way that's probably healthier for them. I mean, that would be the coolest job. I mean, I already love my job, but to be able to learn how to do that and to be able to get my intuition to that high of a level would be so cool. So cool. So I'm hoping I can start reading some things about it. Hopefully this book will give me a good start, and then, just keep practicing. I mean, this stuff takes time to learn, and I'm still relatively new at all of it. I mean, I've been kind of into it for a while, but it takes a whole lifetime to learn things. So, and there's always more learning you can do. But that is my haul. It was a really fun time. I would definitely encourage anybody who loves the metaphysical realm, who loves witchy stuff, who just wants to maybe go and find out what more is out there, to, if you get a chance to go to the Victory of Light tour, go for it. It's really a cool experience. And I was by myself and I really enjoyed it. You don't have to have somebody with you to go, but just stay safe, be careful. And that's all I've got. So stay healthy, stay happy, and I will see you next time.